Okay, so this is going to be a walkthrough to the solution to problem 3 from last time, the A-level problem from last time. So it's asking us to make several new commands in the ball class. And the commands are called, here's the problem, set position off screen, which should set the ball position off the screen, set random speeds, and so on. So let's start doing this. If I want to add new commands to the ball object, I need to look in the ball class because this is our definition of what does it mean to be a ball object. So we've got a move command and a reverse X and Y and all of this, and that's all left over from last time. So let's add another command. Here I'm going to collapse. Oh, by the way, on yours, these may all be expanded. If you click these little plus and minus arrows, you can expand and contract your commands so that they're easier to kind of hide from yourself. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. This is after my update position command, but it doesn't matter what order you have the commands in. So I'm before the closing brace of my class. So let's add a new command called set position off screen, like it says in the assignment. So notice the commands always follow the same pattern: public, void, and then the name of the command. And then for now, because they take no inputs, we just have open closing parentheses. And then what's between the curly braces are the lines of code that we want to run whenever somebody says to do this command. All right, so this command is supposed to set the ball position off the screen. So these commands are usually about having the ball change something about its variables here. So if I'm supposed to set the position off the screen, I probably want to set my X and Y variables to something different. So you can just choose any values that are off the screen. So if like -100 is off the screen, and that's all we need to do. And it doesn't have to be -100. It could be anything that's off the screen. So it could be like positive, 1200. That's off the screen also. But what I want to emphasize is the way that you create a new command is using this pattern, and this is the name of the command. And then the code you put inside the command are lines of Java that are going to change your object variables to do whatever the command is supposed to do for the ball. So because this command was supposed to set the ball's position, I'm changing the X and Y variables. If this command was going to change the ball's speed, then I would change the X speed, Y speed variable. And that's what we're going to do next. So let's make new public void set random speeds. Okay, so notice I followed the same pattern here, but this time I want to change the ball speeds. So I'm going to change X speed to be something random. So let's do int math.random times 10. And then you could do the same thing for the Y speed. Okay, so this is pretty good. The problem here is this is a number between 0 and 9. And if the X speed is always positive, that means that the ball is only ever going to go to the right. So let's do this. Let's make a number between 0 and 20. So this is now a number between 0 and 20. And then I'm going to subtract 10 from it. So if this number was 0 and I subtract 10, now my X speed is -10, which would be to the left. If this was the biggest thing it could be, which is 20, and I subtract 10, then the X speed is 10. So it's sort of like if this is the smallest thing it could be, my X speed is -10. If this is the biggest thing it could be, my X speed is going to be +10. So this is a pattern for creating a random number between -10 and +10. And that's going to guarantee that my speeds could be positive or negative, which means I might be going left or right. Let's go ahead and just copy this whole thing. And I'm going to call this set random position. Except this time, instead of setting my X speed and my Y speed, I'm going to set my X variable and my Y variable because these are my position variables. But I don't want to do a random number between -10 and +10. I want it to be somewhere in the window. So I'm going to do it between 0 and 800 because I know that those are the coordinates of the sizes of my window. So now so whenever somebody runs this command, it's going to generate a new random number between 0 and 800 and save it here. new random number, save it there. And just to be clear, this XY variable, these are the XY variables of the actual ball that's running the command. Okay, last one is the stop. So what does it mean to stop? It means that we set speeds to be 0. So let's set X speed to be 0, and let's set Y speed to be 0. And that's it. But just because we've created these commands doesn't mean we're actually using them yet. So here in ball main, I've got two objects, a B and a B2. And here I construct one, and here I construct the other. I wouldn't want to just go ahead and say like b.set position off screen and then b.stop. Because remember, draw is running 30 times a second. And I want to draw circles where the ball objects are, and I want to update their positions. But I don't want to set them off the screen and stop them moving every single frame. I only want to do that when the user hits a key. So let's put all of those commands only if key pressed is true. And remember, there's a built-in variable called key pressed. Also remember that you use double equals sign to do a comparison. So here I'm saying if the user pressed a key, then let's check what key they pressed. We'll say, and alert, you don't want a semicolon here. You want an opening curly brace and a closing curly brace. Okay, so if they pressed a key, let's check what key they pressed. We'll say if the key equals, let's say R for random. And this should be inside single quotes. And you want an opening brace and a closing brace. So if the key was the R key, I want to move both ball objects to a random position. So B is the first ball object. And so I can do B dot. And then IntelliJ knows all the commands that a ball can do. So I'm going to do set random position. And then B2 dot set random position. So hopefully this makes sense now that you're seeing it. We're saying if they hit a key, check if it's the R key. If it was the R key, then tell each ball object to run its own set random position method. And when we do that, the ball is going to jump over here and it's going to run these two lines of code for itself. So each ball is going to change its own coordinates based on this command. So let's keep going. We could say if key equals S, then B dot stop and B2 dot stop. And let's do if key equals G for go. Then let's say B dot set random speeds and B2 dot set random speeds. So it's like depending on what key the user's pressing, we're going to do a different set of commands for each ball. If the user presses R, we're going to run the random position commands. And if the user presses S, we're going to stop them. And if the user presses G, we're going to set them moving again by setting their speeds. In the actual prompt, it says that if they press the R key, it should start the balls moving again with random speeds. So let's actually, I'm not only going to set random positions, but I'm also going to set random speeds in here. So both objects get a new speed and a new position. Okay, so what it should look like when you run it is going to be something like this. Oops. Oh, my tester. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's try it one more time. Okay, so there's some objects. If I hit R, you'll notice that they've jumped to a new place each time I hit R. And if I hold the R key down, they're really bouncing around. If I hit S, now they're stopped. If I hit R, they're random and moving again. I hit S and they're stopped. I hit R and they're random and moving again. Okay, I hope that this was helpful.